Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the Wright brothers, the fathers of flight.
Don't need to fight. We're the fathers of flight.
In today's world, it is not unusual for people to board a plane and be halfway around the world within hours. The jumbo airlines in use today are commonplace in most developed countries, but there was a time not long ago before air travel was even possible. That was before Orville and Wilbur Wright built and flew their first aircraft in the early 20th century. With their historic flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina on December 17, 1903, the brothers formally ushered in a new era of travel. After that momentous day, they continued to make contributions to the emerging field of aviation for at least a decade. The Wright brothers' successful technique for controlling their aircraft set them apart from other aviation pioneers. Over a century after its creation, its three-axis control system is still in use to this day. Even though it was just 12 seconds long, 10 feet high, and a distance of 120 feet, it was still a flight. Wilbur ran beside Orville as he piloted the aircraft. Only 5 people saw the flight, but one photographer managed to get the picture on camera, and the rest became aviation history. Although numerous nations contest that distinction for their own designers, many of whom perished with their own machines, this 12-second flight recognized the brothers as the fathers of flight. On April 16, 1867, Wilbur Wright was born close to Millville, Indiana. In a family of 5, he was the middle child. In the Church of the United Brethren in Christ, his father Milton Wright served as a bishop. Susan Catherine Coroner was his mother. Later on, the family relocated to Dayton, Ohio. Orville Wright, Wilbur's younger brother, who was born in Dayton in 1871, was Wilbur's playmate when he was younger. Were you aware that Catherine, their younger sister, went to college, but neither Wilbur nor Orville did not attend college at all? Milton Wright frequently traveled for his preaching and returned with inexpensive presents for his children. He returned with a little model flying toy for his boys in 1878. The device, which was based on a design by the French aviation pioneer Alphonse Pinard, was made of cork, bamboo, and paper, and it rotated its blades using a rubber band. The toy and its workings would captivate Wilbur and Orville, who would go on to enjoy flying and aeronautics for the rest of their lives. Wilbur was an intelligent, industrious child who did well in school. He had a lively and gregarious demeanor, and he planned to enroll at Yale University following high school. Wilbur's life, though, was altered by an accident that occurred during the winter of 1885 to 86, when a stick from another player struck him in the face during an ice hockey game. He suffered serious injuries. Wilbur was depressed after the tragedy. Even though the majority of his wounds healed, he withdrew to his family's house, canceled his aspirations for college, and never received his high school certificate. Wilbur spent most of his time at home taking care of his sick mother, who passed away from tuberculosis in 1889, and he would read books from the family collections. The brothers founded their own newspaper called the West Side News in 1889. Orville was the publisher, while Wilbur was the editor. Bicycles, also a new craze that was taking over the nation by storm, were another love of the brothers. Wilbur and Orville set up their own shop in 1892, selling their own bicycle designs and repairing bicycles. German aviator Otto Lilienthal's study was closely monitored by the Wright brothers, who were constantly working on various mechanical projects and staying up to date with the scientific advancements. The brothers made the decision to begin their own flying experiments after Lilienthal lost his life in a glider mishap. Wilbur and Orville traveled to the windy town of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, determined to create their own successful design. Orville and Wilbur got to work, attempting to come up with the flying wing design. They came up with the idea of wing warping after seeing how birds angled their wings for control and balance. The Wright brothers discovered that they had the secret recipe when they added a movable rudder. The first free controlled flight of a power-driven, heavier-than-air aircraft was accomplished on December 17, 1903. Orville laid down on the Wright Flyer and took the controls. He started the engine, which was created by the brothers out of bicycle parts and chains to maneuver the wings. The glider slowly moved forward on a track, lifted off the ground, and flew for 12 seconds and a distance of 120 feet. These two brothers, with no college education, used their love of creation to study birds in flight and those of flying machines from other creators to power the first plane to fly in history. However, the Wright brothers quickly discovered that not everyone was appreciative of their accomplishments. Many members of the press and other aviation specialists were hesitant to accept the brothers' claims at all. In order to increase his chances of persuading the public and selling airplanes, Wilbur left for Europe in 1908. Wilbur discovered a far more accepting audience in France. He provided rides to statesmen, journalists, and officials on numerous public flights. Orville and their young sister Catherine traveled to Europe with their brother in 1909. There, the Wrights were frequently highlighted in the media and hosted by heads of state and of royalty, making them enormous celebrities. Before coming back to the US in 1909, the Wright brothers started selling their aircraft in Europe. The brothers filled contracts for aircraft in the US and in Europe, becoming successful merchants. Throughout their lives, Wilbur and Orville remained tightly close and always gave each other credit for their inventions. However, there was a division of labor going on behind the scenes. As president of the Wright Company, Wilbur was the operations executive and business brain thanks to his keen intuition. Wilbur Wright died from typhoid fever on May 30th, 1912, at the age of 45. He died at his family home in Dayton, Ohio. For the final 30 years of his life, Orville served on aeronautical boards and committees, including the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which was the forerunner of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. Wilbur and Orville never got married. Orville passed away on January 30th, 1948, following a second heart attack. He is actually laid to rest in Dayton, Ohio, in the Wright family plot. The Wright brothers have been honored all over the United States and parts of the world, with many landmarks, parks, and buildings carrying their name. Of course, many parts of their lives and replicas of their famous Wright Flyer are in museums around the world as well. It shows how loved these two brothers were for the technological advancement of flight and travel. Well, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about the Wright brothers? Do you think they're the true fathers of flight? Or do you think that title belongs to one of these other past inventors that died with their creation? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with others that you think would enjoy it. I would greatly appreciate the support. Please watch the video here and watch the playlist to my left. And I will see you all in the next episode.